What's up, guys? Power Maniac 720 here, and I have for you round 5 from the Athens Regional. I'm currently 3-1, and my round 5 opponent's name is Jake Hatch. He had a team of Salamence, Scizor, Landorus, Politoed, Ludicolo, and Thundurus Incarnate. So of course I was immediately concerned about this team because one of my worst matchups is Rain, because it involves like complex weather wars, which is tough to win because even if I get sun up, water is still super effective on fire, so it's still easy to knock, not easy, but not hard to knock Ninetales out. So I was a little concerned, but I felt pretty confident overall in my ability to win this one. So he leads Politoed and Thundurus, which is not a bad lead for me. I lead Shiftry and Thundurus because I figure it's kind of my Rain lead, because basically, if they don't fake out Thundurus, I get off a huge chunk of damage, and if they don't fake out Shiftry, then I get Tailwind up. And he immediately switches out Politoed, which is fine with me, because I figured he's either going to switch it or protect it. So I don't even go for a fake out. I end up going for the Thunderbolt onto Thundurus, and I just Tailwind right off the bat to get the speed boost. That way, this Ludicolo doesn't outspeed me next turn. Thunderbolt does a really nice chunk of damage to Thundurus, but activates its Citrus Berry, but one more Thunderbolt will knock it out. And I think my team pretty much wins at this point if I can just knock out the Thundurus and not let it paralyze me. So I do go for the Protect here. And Ludicolo goes for the Ice Beam and the Thundurus, and Thundurus goes for the Hidden Power onto my Shiftry, which of course I know won't knock it out. It couldn't anyway because of Focus Sash, and I knock off expecting to knock off an Assault Vest, and he actually has Focus Sash. So this turn was actually really interesting. I asked him, I didn't ask him, but he told me that he actually ran out of time on this move, and that's why it ended up auto-selecting Thunderbolt. But I don't know if I really buy that, because when it doesn't, I don't know the rules. I don't really run out of time often. I thought it selected just the last move he used, but I guess if Thunderwave was first, it would select it maybe. But he said he was an accident, but I mean, it could have been. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't remember the mechanics of timer running out, but that actually really helped because I didn't have to worry about any hidden power. I do go for the Thunderbolt onto the Thundurus and knock it out. And I asked him about the Focus Sash too on the Ludicolo, and he said it's just for opposing Ments, because that way if they double edge him, he can just Ice Beam them back. So he knocks out Shiftry, which is perfect because at this point I don't really need Shiftry, especially considering I have Tailwind up. I want to get something else in there that can take advantage of what's been going on. He actually sends in Landorus, which is fine with me. I pretty much know I have this match won at this point, because I outspeed thanks to Tailwind. I can just double edge the Ludicolo and HP Ice the Landorus. I didn't know if he was Scarfed or not. I wasn't completely positive, and if he was Scarf, I knew HP Ice would knock him out. But so I double edge the Ludicolo and pick up a KO, and I go for the HP Ice on Landorus. And I said to him while it's happening, I go, "Do you survive this?" And he goes, "Honestly, I don't know." And he ends up surviving, as you'll see. And he did tell me that he has Assault Vest. So you can just check out this damage. That's a lot of damage to an Assault Vest Landorus. It shows how strong HP Ice is. And he goes for the Rock Slide, but he's intimidated, so it's not going to do a massive amount to my Salamence, which is what I'm most concerned about. And Tailwind does peter out, but it's no big deal now because he's not Choice Scarf. So I do switch out Thundurus into Ninetales just to kind of reset the weather. And that way I can get some chip damage off on the Politoed before I Thunderbolt it, just in case it's really bulky and survives. But I double edge Landorus just to get off the field, because that is probably the biggest threat to my team right now. More of a threat than the Politoed, I should say. Politoed goes for the Ice Beam, and actually Ice Beams into the Ninetales, so that ends up working out perfectly. So I do go for the Solar Beam and double edge combo onto the Politoed, which I know, even if it's not enough to knock it out, it's going to be enough that Thunderbolt can knock it out. It does a really nice chunk of damage. It was over 50%. No Citrus Berry. I never figured out what the Politoed's item was. I never asked them either. Could have been Scarf. If it's Modest Scarf, it doesn't outspeed Salamence anyway. So, it would make sense. but especially because the Landers wasn't scarfed, I assumed it probably was. But so that was my round 5 match, and I'm currently 4-1 in the tournament and feeling really good about going for my first top cut. So stay tuned for round 6.